DCKO just released, or are going to release, some PvP gameplay of Batman and Blue Beetle versus Bane and Constantine. I've been given access to look over this exclusive footage early, but it won't be exclusive by the time it's released. It just means I've been able to access it and break it down at the point of this being released to you. So we're going to show its entirety and then break down some of the things that we've seen. I've got more content coming to the channel tomorrow and next week, and of course today, and there's obviously going to be a lot more as DCKO gets ramped up. Early access, all that stuff could be a thing, a beta could be a thing, but we'll see. So let's roll the footage. So I think we all know this is pre-alpha footage, so there's a lot still to be done in terms of getting that last polish. That's of course going to take us into next year. But we can definitely notice things like debuffs, in some cases buffs, but definitely dots, damaging debuffs, damaging effects, burning, and bleed as well. At 20 seconds, something I liked is that the batarangs attached to the body of Bane and do damage, and that is shown. So you can see there the cause and effect. They're literally attached, those red markers right there, the glowing things. A little bit further on at 21 seconds, there's this moment here where Batman's able to counter. Now, in other games, this I think is referred to, well, in other games that I've played, it's like intercept in terms of a comparison. Also, I'm not quite sure about the background. Some ways I'm looking at this like this is a statue of Lex Luthor. And obviously let me know in the comments of like what this is, but this looks to me like a statue of Lex Luthor that in his war suit, but yeah, it's crumbling. Part of me thought this might be like Krypton, or this is something of some like element of an incursion, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to the countering, and in this moment here, you can see that the counter is being done, and that's good because what it does, it allows you to create your momentum up again from doing the counter. Now, it doesn't counter there, but it was a counter countering a counter. I don't think that's the case because then it's a punish off the back. So Bane does a punish in like response to the counter, which in this is a PvP fight, by the way. There's a lot of very quick, intense fighting that will go on. So when you think you're playing like perfectly, it's not always the case. There's also other little mechanics like parrying, escaping, and we're going to talk about the grab and tech in a minute, but you can see coming up and right here, incinerates or a burning type of effect. Something that there is going to quite literally burst so much damage from Batman doing this action. Is this an incendiary bomb or incendiary grenade, incendiary type of thing he's got? At about 44 seconds, you see here like the switch and the tag team, but it's like a countering. How I can really describe this is that if you're looking to get momentum from one side in a PvP aspect, you're being countered quite quickly by going, well, I'm going to switch out and get from Batman to Blue Beetle. Well, I'm going to see your switch 2v2, switch out to another character and counter with my own switch out, therefore killing your momentum and your combos. And that could be a really good strategy, but of course it's early days, isn't it? One thing in a PvP aspect I was looking to see was at 44 seconds or 44 to 47 seconds, it's there. It's the grab and throw tech in action. Running that again, you can see here like the grab and the throw in a PvP setting. You know, you might have someone you're facing off against, like a real person that is being very kind of like guarded and they're not throwing anything. But if they're in their block a lot of the time and you're like, well, I can grab you and then hoist you up and swipe up or whatever and throw you to the ground, it breaks that kind of boring PvP fight. But look, strategy is strategy at the end of the day. And would you counter that by switching into another character, therefore going, okay, I've avoided your type of grab and throw tech, then is that the play? In this scene right here, you can do this without it being blocked. But yes, it breaks blocks, but at the same time, you can do it to change momentums of like how you're fighting, you know, lifting them up in mid combo if it's possible, if the guard is down or the guard is up, I guess. Going right back here to this segment, you can see we've seen the burning, and of course, when the bleeding is happening for Bane, when he switches out to Constantine, he actually still starts ticking damage whilst being a non-playable character. Now, I don't know if that's something that they'll continue to do, but theoretically, you'd still be, well, taking those damaging debuff effects. So you can see him in the background. Bane is ticking damage. Right there, you can see he's taking the damage, but like, you can also see like a little bit taken away, or does it pause it in status? It looks like a little tick of damage each time until it wears off, whilst of course being waiting to be returned back to the battlefield. There's also going to be some subtle things of like how you assist out of situations, like swapping in, bringing in, say, Bane in this scenario to help out. There is assist that pops up from time to time in the bottom right-hand corner. So at least you can do these tag team elements, whether you're doing supers or not, which you can see on screen right now. Constantine definitely with the assist. I should also point out that there is sound with this, so if you want to go and check out the full video, which was at the start, there was sound. The sound actually sounds quite good, but there's still a lot of optimization, I can imagine, as well, polish in terms of sound and stuff like that. But they're getting there. They really, really are, and I think will be revealed a lot more things as well. Combos as well seem to be a big factor in this. Like the more combos you do, how good those combos are, whether there's a good parry, a average parry, a poor parry, things pop up to, I think, indicate whether or not they're going to be good for you. Like, are you going to do a good parry and take less damage? Have a good chain of critical hits, and then it's going to mean something. There's a lot of things that still need to be roughly seen and experienced by you, the player, and of course what you're going to see from maybe showcases in the future. Of course, not knowing much about the abilities of Venom and of course seeing Venom surge, it highly likely looks like there's a ramp up and build to do more damage. Like Bane, he would just be like, you know, seeping all this Venom through him to then go and just smash out in a big load of damage or give it some element of damage boost. And it looks like that's the case with some of the abilities you can see on screen right here, or supers. And of course, that ramp leads to payoffs similar to this right here. That's very painful. And of course, we see it's not completely doom and gloom because Blue Beetle got knocked out. Okay, but you still got Batman to then come in and help out, finish off the fight. Having these two means that, and this is what I love about this game, is that the momentum is still there. Yes, okay, that's the fighting genre in general. The tag team is a very popular fighting subgenre that's kind of elevated a bit more, but at least it takes away from having to like revive, reset the fight. Yeah, okay, you got to win, but at least the momentum is still there to try and see what you can do to take down your enemies. The one fight interaction I'm really curious on is block trading, which you can see here. There's a lot of kind of like jostling for position. And I think that's going to be important. Does a block reduce down a lot of damage? And you can see there that Constantine was taking about 50 into the block per time, but then doing out anything that's twice to 2.5 or 2.25% more damage as a result of just doing regular hits. So what is that block damage going to do, if anything? So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this plays out, because in a PvP setting, are you going to be like constantly just like doom, hitting each other, doom, because you're repeating the same actions? You can break that cycle, and that's where that grab and throw tech is in, to change it up a lot of the times. But at this stage, it feels a little bit weird to micro-analyze something like this in terms of playability, because in the heat of the moment, and as well as so early, it's kind of weird to be like very analytically looking at this game, because it will play out differently when your back's against the wall, you're trying to have high octane fighting action against another person. It's going to be cool to see, and I am very much looking forward to seeing more from what the developer has to offer. And I hope that it's going to be on a weekly to maybe 2-weekly basis. We're going to hear a lot more information. But anyway, I'll throw it over to you. Like, what were your biggest takeaways from seeing this footage in action? What things do you notice that I didn't notice? Because there's going to be a lot of stuff to notice. Is it the background fighting stage? Is it going to be some of like the debuffs, playability, things that you're a bit unsure about? You'd like to ask the developer some questions. And I've got or pitched an idea to the developer to get an interview, to get some like understanding of certain stuff, whether it be a bit of story, game mechanics, how live PvP is going to work, and hopefully we can have that interview with them. And obviously all things exclusive and new information, as well as fun things, are going to be here on the channel. So make sure to subscribe and put post notifications on all. That's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.